Can you hear me okay? My name is Vasu Chandrasekharan. I work at Merck Research Labs, just a few blocks from here. And I'll be talking about the work on extracting information from electronic health records using NLP, talking about a few different applications, use cases towards knowledge discovery from unstructured information. So this work is done in collaboration with our collaborators at Regenstrief Institute. And just to give a very quick background, because it's really key to our collaboration, the data infrastructure that they have. So Regenstrief Institute is in Indiana, and they actually have one of the very first health information exchanges in the nation. And the Health Information Exchange really has really massive clinical data collected from point-of-care treatment of patients, and also using the data for research. And Regenstrief Institute is also one of the very first places where actually they built a homegrown EMR over 30 years. They've been using that to collect clinical data, billing data. And they get this data from a network of hospitals, 110 different hospitals, 30 health systems, several thousand individual practices and providers, and they have connection to the VA site. So there's a massive inflow of data into the Health Information Exchange called the India Network for Patient Care. And the database has data on 17 million unique patients, 10.6 billion data points, clinical data elements, and 250 million clinical notes. And that's really been the backbone for all the studies that we have done. Merck, looking at the motivation for our collaboration has been to study the real-world efficacy, impact, value of the medicines that we discover and develop. And through this collaboration, we wanted to understand, through this different data types, the gamut of data types spanning from hospital data, lab data, outpatient, physician office, and others, understanding what is the efficacy and impact of the medicines, and how can we actually better understand patients or populations. So, there was a really wonderful talk yesterday on NLP applying to oncology in breast cancer. So, I won't belabor on this a lot, but then, there is a lot of subtleties to clinical data, and understanding the data in the right context really holds the key to improve patient outcomes. And, there are estimates that about 80% of the data is, locked away, so to speak, in free text documents. And the free text documents could range from some of the things that we heard about yesterday about the radiology pathology reports. And there are really other number of different types of notes: progress notes, admission discharge summaries, procedure notes, microbiology operative notes, and so on and so forth. And the problem there is there's really valuable information that's trapped in free text data, that's in narrative text documents, and NLP could be used to search this vast collection to especially identify hard-to-find patient characteristics, such as social behaviors, could be important in neurodegenerative diseases, understanding psychosocial behaviors of patients, or in understanding general features like what behaviors are important or critical for medication adherence, and symptoms and family history and other things. So we have used this over the years across a variety of different use cases, primarily many revolving around identifying patients, matching them for the clinical trials that they're eligible for, using data from the notes, especially for conditions that are poorly represented, using diagnostic codes in structured data, but then also mining through radiology pathology reports, looking at disease severity, especially for cancer, looking at histology staging, primary tumor metastatic condition, understanding really the severity, because most of the data, again, gets trapped in the notes, looking at values, which really quantitative data, but then really captured in unstructured notes, such as ejection fraction, the mini mental state exam for neurodegenerative diseases, Karnofsky score for oncology, looking at other things that I talked about before about medication adherence, reason for discontinuation, other things. And there are a number of things that need to be done in order to establish this pipeline. Starting from really getting this data, indexing it as the data comes in, to sentence detection, entity recognition, and understanding the data. Because as I mentioned, it's really complex, and understanding the data in the right context. Understanding what conditions are being talked about. If you come across a term like NIDDM, understanding that it's about diabetes mellitus. and sorting through affirmations and negations, and understanding when it's being about a subject, when it is being about family history, doing some of the regular things like misspellings and other things. And we've used this for biomarker discovery, identifying genes, and we have made this a very automated process. So please stop by the poster, and there are a couple of different use cases that I'm talking about, especially about the peripheral arterial disease and in oncology. Thank you.